thought you said tantrum. Right, rolling on. Oh.
What?
Hi guys, and welcome back to our channel for a top secret video today. So, I'm actually really excited about this because we are the first people to have access to the Newman R56 Cooper S N14 cams. I haven't even undone the box that I could do it on camera, like a legit one, because sometimes I do sneak a peek. I have been told I'm allowed to do this on the car, so hopefully John will get the bit where I slice into some pipes. But I thought we could open the box, have a look at them, and that's what we'll do. Oh, I remember this was my one. It's gonna feel like I'm unwrapping fish and chippies. First of all, we have the bubble wrap, which we've all experienced before, but underneath the bubble wrap, hurry up, underneath the bubble wrap, oh my goodness, what is fish and chippy papers? It's actually probably just for oil, but this gives me all the ASMRs. So, wrapping, trying not to drop it. Here is it. I'm going to undo the other one, but probably not as long-winded. Okay, so these are what they look like unpacked. Obviously I have given them a check over anyway, but this is the intake, this is the exhaust. One thing that I have noticed, which is not necessarily a criticism, but just a foreboding sense of dread, is that these gaps would have what is kind of like a piston ring inside them. It's a metal O-ring basically, and it stops the oil from passing through there and through there. These ones don't have them, which I'm guessing means that we have to take them off of the old ones and then put them on that. So I'm not 100% sure how we're going to broach that subject. That might be a Tim's issue. But other than that, I think they look really good. I don't know if you can kind of see up close, but they're in pretty good condition. There's not really many marks on them, and the marks that there are, for example here, that's just on the casting, so that doesn't really matter because that's where they're going to be sitting anyway. But the actual lobes, they all look good. They're all nice and clean. All of the cuts and the shaping is all really, really nice and sharp. So yeah, let's get these fitted. Okay, so I'm going to go grab the tools to actually show you how to fit the cams. But I have also got a little bit of a recording of when we took the car as it stands right now onto a dyno to see what a base power is basically. And then once we fit the cams, it is kind of a bit of a trial because they've never been fitted before. So it could run, and that's great. We want to know if it does run, what sort of power it is, so that we know what you can achieve. And then also we're going to have it mapped afterwards to see what difference it is. It's just basically to see what we need to do to be able to sell them. And we thought we would show you along the way. So we are here. This is day one of, I don't even know how many days it's going to go over if I'm honest, but we're on day one of whatever that is. We are down at CTG Performance. We obviously have the Mini. We've all come down in it, so here's hoping that it doesn't die on the ramp because it's a hell of a long walk, long walk back. I've had a quick chat with Billy, one of the guys that works down here. He's going to let me kind of record him getting it on the ramp and everything, strapping it on, etc. I'm going to try really hard to ask some questions, and yeah, he's not so keen on being on camera, but I think it'd be really good for you guys to be able to see what's involved in getting it set up, to get it on a dyno, etc. And yeah, let's see how it goes. We're also going to guess all of our numbers. So all of us down here are going to guess. I don't actually know what to suggest. I feel like I probably should have looked up the numbers, to be fair. I think it's about mid 170s that they come out of factory. So this is an early R56, obviously, because the number plate doesn't really help. So I'm gonna, I mean, my guess is gonna be 162, I think. I like the number 9 and those numbers add up, so that's gonna be my guess. But that could be wildly wrong. But let's see what everyone else says.
My guess is 150.
Ooh. I reckon 176.
I'm saying 162.
Oh man, that's the same number as me. You're gonna have to go for another number.
167.
181 with low torque.
Oh. Okay, right. Let's get it on.
I reckon 160.
Send it to the moon.
Basically, because it's going to record that. Right, you're in charge of making sure no one stands in front of that screen, okay? Because that's a really good shot right there.
We record it, yeah. So the results are 171 horsepower and 262 newton meters.
I said 176. That's not bad.
I feel like Dan said 171. I feel like Dan said 171 and low torque.
181 with low torque.
Okay, so is that our line now?
Yeah, so that's the dyno graph. Obviously 262 here being the torque curve, 171 here being horsepower output, bottom is just transmission loss. So
Are you impressed?
I am 171 with a second-hand piston put in the engine. Yes, I'm very impressed.
Hey, I am actually genuinely, I'm pleasantly surprised. I'm not going to lie. Tim's did good at getting it running again. Obviously, massive thanks to CTG Performance for getting us in at such short notice before the holidays, so that we could actually get going with this video. Next plan is going to be obviously take it back. We're probably going to be parking it up for Christmas, if I'm honest with you, because I'm lazy. But then we'll be fitting those cams and seeing what it does instead. We've also got a few other sneaky little bits that we have purchased already. We've got waiting, we've got kit waiting, we've got waiting. We've managed to pillage all of our suppliers for parts. So hopefully this little car, although the R56 content isn't absolutely your favourite at the moment, hopefully you guys will fall in love with it as much as we have. But yes, you will see me on theoretical day 2 when we are actually taking apart the rocker cover again to get those cams in. Okay, we are... Tim, no, sorry.
Oh.
Come on.
No, sorry. What do you want me to do? I thought I was standing
No,
here.
sorry, Miriam, sorry.
What do you want me to do?
Okay, so me and Tim are gloved up. This is on the pretense that I'm actually doing anything today. Tim is going to be doing most of it, if I'm completely honest with you, and we're going to be sharing a microphone. So hopefully the audio levels aren't going to be too annoying for you all. Tim is just going to show us how to basically get to the existing cams, to be able to replace them, obviously, little things to be careful of along the way, etc, etc. And
Miriam's here for moral
I'm
support.
here for, apparently, support. Off you go.
That'd be entertaining.
Time update. Let's see when we finish.
Okay, do you want me to be tool passer?
You can do. You can do. Are you going to know what I'm going to ask?
No.
Right. The first one is the 5mm Allen key,
Okay.
which is ironically already on the large ratchet. Vacuum pipe
Yep.
to the brake servo. So that does your power assisted brakes.
And how are you taking that off?
Push in the tab on the side and then give it a little pull. Okay. If it's too tight, don't pull it first of all. Push down, push the tab in, then pull it up.
Nice.
And just pop it out the way. Try not to break it though, which I probably will. That's fine.
Okay, so we are taking off the induction kit next. Obviously, we have the Dyrenza on there. Is that roughly what? I can't remember what you had
Yes,
on there before.
yeah, the intake pipe, yeah.
So it would be, so you just need to undo that bottom clip to take it off.
There's one other, Dyrenza or not, it's got the same. It's got a T20 Torx bit. Much easier and quicker when you've got a battery ratchet to do it with. This is the slightly more aggressive part now. You can't remove this. If you've got a standard airbox, you can. You can just twist this bottom unit, this section, and twist this section and it'll unlock out the bottom of a standard airbox. This one you can't with the Dyrenza. Inside the airbox there's a plate that goes in and it's bolted from the outside. So unless you take the top off, you'll never get it back in again. So you disconnect it from there. It does squash in to be able to disconnect it, it's just a bit more fiddly.
Also, grease nipples. Still living up. Excellent.
Yep. Right, have to remove the boost pipe that goes down to the throttle body. It's in sections, so we'll remove one Jubilee clip there, undo the clip, or not undo the clip. One Jubilee clip there that goes to your noisemaker, that goes to into the cabin. And then there's another Jubilee clip right down there, which is awkwardly positioned, that is onto the throttle body itself.
Okay, Tim has kind of cracked on because otherwise this video is going to take absolutely forever.
Time update.
Oh. Thank goodness we did that. But we are on a massive time pressure because Ken Newman has actually asked us to make sure that we get this video done, and there is just like no time whatsoever in the calendar to be able to book this in. So we are trying to rush it so we can all go home and actually have a Friday night, hopefully. So anyway, if you're not sure what to do, watch our other video, which is how to replace the rocker cover. That will show you all the step-by-step to actually get it off anyway. We'll just rush this last little bit and then we will be back with the cams. Okay, so this is a little update. Obviously that stayed there, but the rest of it, that's looking good. I really wanted to try and get a good test on the rocker cover before we started selling it to absolutely be sure that we're happy with the quality and everything. And that, I'm pretty pleased with that. Well, apart from obviously the paint, but that's neither here nor there.
This was using a crappy gasket.
And
Yeah, that's true.
not actually putting any sealer on any of the joins. It's actually sealed it very well. There's not been one oil leak on it.
I'm really pleased with that.
Good job.
You don't look like death.
You're like a deaf warmed up.
Death after a night out. After a Friday night.
Okay, it was funny the first few times we said it, and now it's getting complex.
This is take 48. I've insulted Miriam.
Right, okay, so obviously now we have the rocker cover off, you can actually see the cams. For anyone who was kind of like me to start off with, I had no idea what a cam was. This is obviously the cam. The lobes that are on them have different tear shapes facing different directions, and basically as it pushes down, it pushes on these valves to open and close. That's kind of roughly, hopefully I don't get too slaughtered in the comments for that really rubbish explanation, but that's what it does. It just basically spins, the timing chain spins it by moving from the crank to the bottom and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, the way that you can tell the difference is the intake cam on an R56 would be the one with the Vanos pulley on the side. What does a Vanos pulley do? That does timing and things like that, doesn't it?
So basically, the Vanos pulley advances and retards the camshaft, the intake camshaft, via oil pressure, which is regulated by a solenoid valve, which gets its command from the ECU depending on its power and torque request, all controlled by your right foot.
Okay, so that's obviously a lot more complicated than on the R53 because we don't have those in the R53. And this is the exhaust cam. I mean, it's kind of obvious because that's where the turbo is, but that doesn't have a pulley on it.
Unless you're looking under the rocker cover of an N18, a later R56. They are twin Vanos.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm just trying to think if there's any other questions that people might want to ask, but are going to be too nervous to put in the comments. What about, okay, timing chain. If I've just bought my R56 and I'm going to change my cams, what do I know about my chain as to whether it's been done or not if I haven't got any paperwork?
Best way to look at it is, to be honest, you can't see the timing chain at all unless you take the rocker cover off. Even then, you've only got a very small amount down there that you can see. One indication to show whether the timing chain has been potentially renewed is the overall appearance. These guides, these plastic guides up here, down the front and down the back, usually when they're new...
Can I wipe them?
Yes, yeah. Usually when they're new, they're white. Or, to be honest, that sort of colouring. This chain has only done 5,000 miles since it was fitted. So you can see that that's roughly what it will look like compared to if it's old and potentially never been replaced. Compare the colouring of that plastic to that camshaft there. It'll be a very dark, stained brown, which occurs because of oil staining and heat. As you can see, that will give you a rough idea as to whether the chain has ever been replaced. Again, you can look at the pulleys as well, but usually the guides are quite good indication as to whether the chain has been replaced or not.
Okay, cool. And then the other thing that I was just thinking is we obviously sell a lot of R53 cams, and I know a lot of the owners of those are fitting them themselves. Could General Joe Blogs fit these ones as well?
You can fit them yourselves on the drive, definitely, but you would have to invest in the correct timing tools to do it. The R53 is much more basic. The R56, you do have to have it timed up correctly. Okay, all of a sudden on my face. The R56, you do need the timing tools, 100%. And also when you are timing them, do not rely on the timing tools to hold the cams where they should be when you are tightening the cam bolts. Unlike the R53 is keyed. The cam pulleys are keyed. Both pulleys on the R56 are not, they are floating. So the bolts are crucial that they are tight. Otherwise, one can slip and that will be it. That cam will stop moving, potentially cause massive destruction to the valves.
Massive destruction! Can't say a word like that and then not give it emphasis.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Just massive destruction.
But no, it is doable on the drive, by all means. Just take extra care, extra precautions when doing it. These are an interference engine. So again, if you do anything wrong, the valves will touch the piston and they will bend and destroy the valves, damage the pistons. and you don't want that to happen.
Okay, we're being really negative now. That won't happen. We're going to do it really good this time.
Not until we've fitted them.
This time? When did we do it wrong the first time?
We haven't done it wrong the first time, but I'm going to do this one. So we'll at least put them in position.
Yep.
Right, now what next?
Right, now would be the point that I would be timing the engine. On these, before putting the timing tools on, I'd be rotating the crankshaft round at the bottom, because at the ends of the cams, both cams, there are 3 flat edges and 1 round edge.
I'll show you, hold on. You're looking at it.
Video.
Okay, so there's a straight edge, there's a straight edge, there's a straight edge, and there's a nice round one.
Now the round edge goes at the bottom. So when you do the rotations, you want the 2 flat edges on the edge, on the sides, front and back, and you want the 3rd flat edge on the top. Rounded edge face goes to the bottom.
And when you do that, are both of them facing the bottom?
Both facing the bottom. Intake and exhaust cams, both round edge faces the bottom.
Cool. Let's go get the tools.
Onto the crank pulley, centre bolt, to be able to rotate the engine.
And that's what Tim's just done.
Okay, so guys, for those at the back, Tim's just put a socket on the crankshaft bolt,
It's an 18mm.
and it's an 18mm.
Could you pass me the large ratchet down there? I can't let go of it.
He can't let go of it, guys.
The wobbly ended one.
This one. Don't show me bending down. I have a phone in my pocket. That's why I had to bend like an old woman. I'm also totally inflexible, and I have a bad back.
Wait till you see the thumbnail. How many attempts that took?
Right, ready? So turning it over. Watch the other end.
Hear that compression.
Okay, so the curved edge is up on the top at the moment.
Waiting to get some boost.
Do you want to slow down, Tim? You're going to start it in a minute. Never heard that one before.
I was thinking how funny that was. I just couldn't work out what sort of laugh I should do. Right, that is as close as I will go with it. On that.
Okay. Do you want me to wipe them so that you can see them
No.
up close?
No.
No.
No, that is
Okay.
as close as I go. And then we put the car up in the air, use a little mirror, do the last bit to lock the crank in first.
Which is what we did in the rocker cover video.
Okay, so we have kind of covered this in the rocker cover video. So you will be able to see exactly what Tim's doing, but this is him in real life doing some work.
It's rare.
I'm glad we got it on camera. Okay, so Tim has timed the bottom bottom bits, and these will now slot over. So you can see the 3 flat edges go over the top of that, like so, I think. And then those 3 flat edges go over there, like so, nice and slopped over, and then that will just bolt up on those 3 locations. And then we are timed at the top.
Yeah.
And good to take off the chain.
Yes, pretty much. Yeah.
Woo!
Right, now it's the timing chain tensioner down the back of the engine. It's a 27mm. You do need quite a thin walled socket to fit down the back, otherwise it interferes. Get that on there. Sucking that off.
Is that the only thing that's down there, that shape? So if you wouldn't be
Yeah.
having very difficulty to find it?
No, you'd have no problems finding it.
What are you doing? What's wrong with the box? Okay, so tensioner is out. I'm assuming something to do with the... I'm not sure.
The top guide, yeah. Just got to remove that. 2
Oh, is that it?
8mm. Once you slacken them, undo them both and lift the guide up with it, just so you kind of avoid losing the bolts into the engine. You don't want to lose them.
And then I guess we just get some wire cutters at that point.
Maybe a grinder would do better.
Well, not a pair of scissors.
No,
Just
no, I
a
think
pair
you
of
might,
nail
I think-
scissors.
I think you might blunt the chain using scissors.
Okay, no, seriously, what else? Because it is very late.
Time update. Oh, there it is. Merely we got distracted talking to one of our neighbours.
Yeah, and I took the dog for a really long walk. Right, carry on.
It's now undoing the 2 cam pulleys.
Okay.
So, 27mm spanner. There is a groove at the end of the cams that the spanner fits into. So you can put the E14 socket on to the end of the cam, pull back.
Muscles!
Tim's making that look really hard.
It's like watching Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
That's one slackened off.
You're not gonna acknowledge what we've just done.
No.
Oh, look at those! Look at those guns.
Nora's. Man, them works out.
This is the tricky part. You don't want the chain to drop.
What part of this is the tricky part, and why?
You don't want the chain to drop, and you certainly don't want to drop the bolts down there.
I've got a magnet.
Yeah. Now, remove the pulleys. That's one. And then 2.
Well, Tim's learned to count.
Don't pass me anything else. Got no
Now,
hands.
you want to support the chain out of the way. So as a cheat, pull the dipstick out a little bit carefully. And just put it around the dipstick.
Clever.
Pulls the chain out of the way. Okay, now remove the timing tools. They will move, the cams will move,
Why does moving the cams at this point not matter?
because it's timed. You know it's timed and you've had it held in place for disassembling. The way it's timed. There. Which is absolutely fine. As long as you're careful with it, they're fine. Now you go around and undo each one of these bolts, slackening them all off one by one individually.
What so you wouldn't take one out entirely, loosen
No.
them all off, and then you would.
No, you take them all out.
Okay, so Tim has loosened these all off, so they are literally ready to come out. But before we have done so, he has prepared me a piece of cardboard on the floor because we are going to be taking them off. Oh, I didn't ask how these come off. Should they just lift? Okay, like this. We're going to take them off and put them in the exact order that they come out, so that we can put them back on in the right play, right way again. But yeah. I'm going to, oh now I picked up one with one hand. It's going to take me ages if I do it single-handed. Okay, so caps are off. Apparently we can now take the cams out, but they do need a little bit of a wiggling. So I guess I'm probably not going to be invited to that party, but here you can actually see what I was talking about earlier with those metal seal rings. So, unfortunately for us, because we've had to do the video tonight, and I wasn't aware that they didn't come with it, that we are going to have to somehow probably reuse what we've got, which is absolutely not ideal under any circumstances. And if I'm honest with you, there's no way I'd sell it like that. There would have to be new ones, and I guess they're going to be BMW only. So we are going to have to kind of come up with a slight sort of budget and see how we get on tonight, just to be able to get the car back on the road and everything. But anyway, let's get the cams out first. I'm just going to go and retrieve Tim from telling off the dog for jumping on the desk for the 1000th time. Okay.
Rotate them round a little bit. Lift it out. The groove in the back interlocks into the vacuum pump for the exhaust cam. It's easier than trying to take it out like that when they're horizontal. Rotate it slightly, anti-clockwise, so they come out vertical. They're easier to remove.
It doesn't look in bad condition, to be fair. I'll have a look at him in a minute, but it doesn't look bad.
Same with this one. Lift, rotate, then it comes off.
That's cool. And that's the high pressure.
That's the drive for the high pressure fuel pump.
So when I've heard high pressure fuel pump issues before on R56s, how, obviously we're not going to the extent of taking the cams out, but you have to take the rocker cover off to replace it?
No. No, you just undo the few bolts round it, wiggle it out, and it comes out.
Okay.
So,
Cool. Why is that one like that? It's well gappy.
tab's broken. It's meant to overlap and interlock.
No!
That tab's broken.
No, that means what I think it does, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
No! That means that we're going to have to give him a lift in the morning to work.
And I'll have to order them from BMW tomorrow.
Oh, that is so annoying. Okay, well, we could post this video. We could do the first half. And then at least it's something up.
I'll pop some one up there.
Anyway,
too.
I hope that you've enjoyed the video. If you have, if you did, please like and subscribe. We shall be putting a part 2 up as soon as we possibly can. I think Tim might have an idea, but I think it's time to go home. So we shall see you in the next video.